Focus tracker, see enemy footsteps, bullets you fire briefly mark an enemy for you and your squad. Enemies that down you are automatically pinged. This is very interesting. So this is like a combo tracker, combat scout, and then a new thing as well. Bullets you fire briefly mark an enemy for you and your squad. So keep in mind, combat scout does this in Warzone right now, but with combat scout, there's a cooldown. So if I shoot we are live! Boys and girls, welcome to, the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 474. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by Tanner, and we have a special ep for you today. Warzone. Yeah. That is what they're saying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It appears to be Warzone.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cover Warzone as we promised. And there's a lot to get into. I have not actually read this yet because I want to do... I usually like to save things like this for a live first reaction. It's more fun that way. Maybe I shouldn't, because then I can think about it more until we get there, but whatever.
No.
Yeah, it's fun this way.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so we're going to cover this blog post. There is a lot to get into. Before we do, stick around for the end of the show for announcements. I don't think we really have any. When did we do a bonus episode? We did a bonus episode. We may or may not talk about it after this show ends. But other than that, we did have a Damascus hangout, and it was fun. So, yeah. With that said, let's just get into this, because there's a lot to get into.
Right into it.
I'm very excited. Here we go. So, Call of Duty Warzone content. Now, we had given you guys a little sneak preview of this last episode, but now we're going to get really into the weeds. And there is, once again, a lot here. So, they start off with a little content summary. Area 99's coming back. And then some other things. Perks, in-game innovations. Here we go. So UI update, a fully integrated experience. Before you even drop into a match, expect a much anticipated UI update for Warzone. When Season 1 begins, the UI will enter its fully realized state. BO6 and Warzone will continue to be the primary titles on the home tab, and players will be able to instantly access both BO6 and Warzone for a faster, more direct path to gameplay. So right now, if you were playing Warzone because you're an idiot, you would have to cross-launch into it. That's going to end Season 1. So you'll press play on Call of Duty, and then whether you play multiplayer or Warzone, you won't have to cross-launch. You'll be right in there, which is actually really nice because... especially with how fun zombies and multiplayer is, I might be hopping back and forth between the two. Like, oh, the boys are on. We're going to play some whatever, trios. And then they get offline and it's like, all right, well, I'll go do my zombies dailies then. Now I won't have to cross launch like an asshole. I can just get right in there. Yeah. So that's cool.
It's good. It's good too, because... well, not that MW3 wasn't that same way, but it'll be nice to, instead of random filling plunder or BR like I did a lot this year, like in the afternoon when nobody was on, I can just play zombies. That's nice. Get a little character XP playing some zoms or some multiplayer. Might actually do that this year, since the game's fun and not bad.
Right. And like leveling new guns could be interesting in zombies. Because you had raised a point about how to economically use your time and double XP tokens. And you were like, dude, we should do zombies, because NPR sent us some double XP codes, many of which were expired.
Literally.
But some of which,
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, some of mine worked. So, Tanner was like, dude, we should do it in zombies. So that way, when we pop like an hour of double XP, we will be leveling up for the entire hour rather than queuing like multiplayer or Warzone. You'll be playing for whatever, 10, 20 minutes. And then the match will end, and then you'll just be in a loading screen, map voting screen, winner circle screen, all while you're burning that double XP time. In zombies, pop it like round 5, and then just stay for the whole time. And then like for the entire hour, you're getting XP. Yeah.
Pop the, is it called Rage Inducer? What is it called?
Yes.
Yeah, pop that little sucker.
Yeah, pop
Zombies
that sucker too.
is very boring without that, by the way. That's an insta pop for me now. It's way too slow for the first 10, 12 rounds without that. I don't like it. It feels weird.
The first 10 rounds are too slow, yeah. Yeah. And then, but yeah. So anyway.
A lot more XP, so.
It's a lot faster XP, yeah, exactly. So anyway, just a quick little aside there. But yeah, the store tab, whatever, battle pass tab, with the Season 1 update, Warzone will have its own individual UI with improvements similar to the BO6 UI. So maybe they may or may not get into that here. So the new map, Area 99 for Resurgence. This will be in Season 1. And I believe it's going to be day 1 of Season 1.
Yes.
So, yeah. So that'll be cool. They go into great detail here, which we will not be doing, because we've done this before. They've released literally, excuse me, this list of POIs. So we're not going to do this again. We've done it before. Yep. You guys can go back to
we watch gameplay. We've talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So just scrolling through all the POIs here. They look like POIs. They look brown and red. So we'll see how that plays. I'm excited to try it though.
Okay.
I'm not as doomer pilled as everyone else seems to be. Like, oh, this map looks terrible. I don't know. It looks like it could play pretty well. It's ugly though. Like, yeah, I'll give you that.
The thing is, for me, is everybody who played it at COD Next, nobody thought too highly of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's why I.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everyone's like, it wasn't great. And usually when those type of people who get invited to a COD event are like, it's probably the worst map they've ever created, because most of those people are overly joyous and positive because they get invited to these things.
Right, that's a good point too.
Invited. So they usually, oh yeah, it's not bad, when in reality they absolutely despise it, but they just won't say that.
That's true, but also let's assume most of them did really despise it. They did only play it for like a couple hours. Yeah. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is like, this has happened to me with multiplayer. It happens every single year. I don't know how much it happens with Warzone or Resurgence maps, to be fair, but you can like hate a map early, like the first couple days you play it, and then a couple months later, you're like, actually, I love this map now. So maybe they would have changed their minds if they had played it a bunch. I don't know, but we'll see. It doesn't strike me as immediately terrible, is all I'll say. And there's no water, which is nice, because there's going to be lots
dried up
on Avalon. So, by the way, when they bring back Verdansk, is there going to be water? Are they going to fill those little...
They'll probably flood half the map. Verdansk flooded.
Flooded Verdansk? Yeah, you're right. Anyway, whatever. So, Season 1 returning maps. Urzikstan is coming back. Nice. Is remaining, I should say. But we actually are going to read this because there are going to be some key differences. The scene of what is shaping up to be a ferocious ranked play battle royale at mid-season, the Urzikstan big map is the first of 2 returning large-scale locations you can drop into at the launch of Season 1. As development work to integrate Omni movement and other innovations was highly involved, this version of Urzikstan is the one you remember from the earlier seasons of MW3, with an intact Popov power plant, so there's no green cum everywhere anymore, and prior to bunker access, so there will be no more bunkers, and the construction of the Atlas Superstore, so there will be no more Atlas Superstore either. A lot of people I've seen have been bitching about this. I am happy about this. I do not want everyone to have infinite money with the integration and omni movement all at the same time. That sounds awful. So I'm happy that the bunkers are gone. I don't care about pop-off either way. You can have it intact or not. That wouldn't matter to me at all. And Atlas Superstore, I would have preferred they leave in rather than it not be there, but I don't really care that it's not. But bunkers being gone, I think, is actually a huge W for the integration, because if you had all that money, I think it would skew, and all those specialist bonus and stuff, it would really skew everyone's impressions of and the devs' ability to evaluate the balance of all the other new things they're going to be adding. So I like that they're taking that away. I think that's going to be, I think that's a smart move, and I'm happy to see it. Yeah.
I agree with you. If the only two options were day 1 of Urzikstan or day 365, basically, I would take day 1. Yeah. Especially just basically think about it this way. If you're going to be playing Urzikstan, you are almost certainly going to be playing it for ranked play. Urzikstan pubs will not be popular at all. You're either playing ranked, which is going to be on Urzikstan, or you're going to play Rebirth, which is coming back. We'll get into it. Rebirth or Area 99, probably. So they're basically changing this, in my view, because it's going to be ranked play. And yes, you can't have bunkers and all the money and all that crap when it's for ranked play. So I like this change. I have no issue with it. Some of these kids are losing their mind on Twitter about it, which I don't fully understand.
Yeah,
the map barely changed. That is, Atlas doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It could be there or not. Has no effect on anything. Pop-Up doesn't matter. So basically, the only thing missing are the bunkers. And I think it was Cope, actually. He did point out there will be less balloons. That's the worst part. I'm like, yeah, that's
How
true.
many balloons
I don't know.
is that, though? Like,
I mean,
that you're actually even going to hit? It's quite a few if everyone opens every bunker.
Which was happening towards the end of it. It's probably 10, 12 less balloons on the map, actually. All of them were being opened.
Yeah, toward the end, that's true, I guess, yeah.
So, but again, yeah, I think for ranked play, that might actually be bad, having all those balloons. I think we want to slow the pace down a little bit and make it feel more like a ranked play battle royale. So I'm interested to see this. I think it's fine. I would have much preferred if they do a bunch of map changes to Urzikstan, like the dumb leakers had said in like season 5. They were all wrong. They actually did nothing to Urzikstan.
They did less.
Reverted it back to They did less than
did the
nothing,
opposite.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
That was wrong again. That's why we don't spend too much time on leaks usually. They're all idiots. So
yep.
Yeah, I would have preferred that. But if the two options were, day 1 or what we have right now, I would take day 1 for ranked play.
I have the exact same opinion. Yeah. One thing I do wonder though is the high value loot zones. Will those still be high value? I'm assuming no.
Yeah. It's not very clear because they're saying, well, actually, let's read it again. This version of Urzikstan is the one you remember from earlier seasons. So the fact they say this version and not like the map itself, then yes, all that stuff is probably gone.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Which also for ranked play, I think is going to be good. It'll be different at least. At least it'll give us a different feeling of what we've been used to, like in season 5 and season 6 of Warzone. At least it'll be going back to something different. I don't know, because we're already getting the same stupid big map back, so at least that will kind of feel different.
Yeah. It is going to be cool to play the same map on 2 different, like, engines. They're not technically different engines, but it is going to be like omni movement and all that, and like, whatever all the perks and stuff. It's going to be like playing 2 different games on the same map, which we've never really had before. Because when we had like the Cold War integration, we got the new guns, but like nothing else fundamentally really changed. This is going to be cool. But anyway, that's an aside. So yeah, Urzikstan's coming back. There you go. Rebirth Island is also staying in the launch window. So it's not going to be available on launch, it sounds like. Here's what they say. The infamous Prison Island continues to be, in the playlist rotation, with the focus on resurgence modes, now with the added tactical chaos of omni movement integration and a host of BO6 weaponry, kill streaks, and more. Okay, so they don't really say anything about it. Yeah, Rebirth expected to look exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So it's yeah, we'll have Rebirth and we'll have Area 99. I don't know if they're going to talk more about it. It doesn't look like they will, but those might be the only two Resurgence maps, meaning Vondel is out and Fortune's Keep is out.
I believe so, because the first category we read was new Resurgence map, Area 99. This one we're reading now is returning maps, Urzikstan and Rebirth.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think as of now, that will be all we have. So maybe we see Vondel or something else back at some point, you know, maybe season 3, who knows, but...
Yeah, so F's in the chat for Vondel, but if we never see Fortune's Keep again, dude, I would be very happy.
Vondel with Omni movement would actually go crazy.
Yeah, true.
That map out of all of them, I think, would play the most different because of all the rooftops, Omni moving from one to another. Imagine just sprinting backwards, doing a little Omni dive backwards onto another roof. You can do some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, on
but
Vondel.
We got Rebirth because all you idiots like it the most and hate Vondel.
Yeah, so idiots. Anyway. Returning modes and features. So season starts with offering 3 familiar game modes with additional stuff coming later. BR will be in at launch on Urzikstan, and it will be 120 players, which is the same number of players it is now. So it's not as much as, you know, day 1 Warzone, which was 150, but it's not as few as like Warzone 2, which was 100. So I'll take it. This is similar to the mode players experienced during MW3. This time, however, all operators drop in with Omni movement options, as well as the full complement of BS6 weapons. Okay. Resurgence. Oh yeah, here's some clarification. Area 99 and Rebirth Island, both at launch. So that's interesting. Solos, duos, trios, and quads will be in. And it's going to be 44 players, or 45 if you're playing trios. So that is all the same as it is now. So that makes sense. Yeah, and then they write words about it, and it's nothing. And then Plunder is going to be in. I don't know if we have Plunder right now. I never checked. I didn't care. But now that there's a Warzone camo, having Plunder is really nice, because that's going to be a really easy way to grind whatever weapon you want for a couple of reasons. One of which is the players are not going to be as good as they are on any other Warzone game mode. This will be the easiest, least skilled opponents playlist, number 1. And number 2, you have whatever weapons you want right away, and perks. So for Plunder, you just have a loadout always, and you have unlimited respawns. So it's the most economical, by far, use of your time in terms of camo grinding. So that's good.
We do have Plunder right now, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I personally think you are really underestimating how much sweatier Plunder is going to be this year, because every single person is going to think the same thing. Oh, let's go play Plunder. Because it doesn't make the most sense. You spawn in with your loadout. I think Plunder this year will actually be sweaty, like very similar to BR, because everyone doing the camo will be playing Plunder because of spawning with your guns. It's not going to feel like Plunder because of that, but you still spawn with your guns, so it's probably still going to be the fastest way.
It'll still almost certainly be the fastest way. But, yeah, I think it will be more sweaty than it's ever been because I think you're right. But as the weeks go on, that'll become less and less true as more and more people doing that actually get the camo and then never play Plunder again, which is what I'll be doing. I'll be playing Plunder probably to work on the camo. Once I get the camo, I'm of course never playing Plunder again. So as people do that, then they'll get easier and easier depending on how slowly you're going to be camo grinding. So I don't know, something to keep in mind, but yeah, we'll see. And then Warzone ranked play, we are getting mid-season. Here's a look at some of the skins. These look really cool, by the way. And you're seeing a little emote, it looks like, here as well. So during season 1, ranked play makes its triumphant return to the giant big map, bringing ranked play to Warzone earlier in the seasons than ever before. And then they write some more words. Expect further intel on this mode in the season 1 reloaded blog in early December. So that's good. New cinematics, infill, exfil, gulag, and winner's circle. With a new map comes new methods to infill into the areas of operators, as well as extricating you and your squad after a match. Expect, brand new cinematic sequences including times when you enter the gulag on the big map, as well as a more comprehensive winner circle at the end of every match, showcasing similar info and emotive prowess by the winning squad to that on show during BO6 multiplayer. This is really cool. Actually, it's not like a huge deal, but for those of you who play Warzone, you'll notice when you win, and many of you have never won before, but I'll just explain what happens. When you win, you do the little exfil sequence where you like get in the helicopter, and then it'll say like, oh, Jake down, survivor, gets knocked down and then gotten back up again. By the way, he was never downed one time that game. Cool, okay. And then Tanner, sniper, elite marksman, headshots count. He never even picked up or shot a sniper that game. Yeah. You know, Razinon, dead weight. Razinon got 50 kills, didn't die once, and had the most damage and score on the team.
You are fake news.
So all the time, it'll give you just random, actually fake accolades. And it's actually kind of funny seeing them. But it would be really neat if what it said actually comported with the game you just played. Like, it'd be really cool if we had one person sniping on our team, and then if we win, that person actually gets the little sniper blurb about them in the exfil. That would be dope. I think little things like this add up and go further than you might think. And my evidence for that is Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Right now, we only have like 2 emotes, so it's not like a big deal or whatever, but
yeah, not great.
Every single game I play with my friends right now, BO6 multiplayer, we will be talking about who's going to get play of the game and shit talking each other about it, or just mentioning it like, oh, I just locked up play of the game 100%. And then we'll be excited to see who in fact gets the play of the game. It's some guy on the other team who went 2-30 and he got a collat, and that's the play of the game. Change it. But like, that's really fun, and it does add up. And then we do like synchronized emotes in the little winner circle when we're all in there, which is every game. Dumb shit like that, it doesn't really matter, but it does, especially when you start adding all that stuff up. So like this alone, like whatever, but a bunch of little bells and whistles, it adds up to make the game a lot more fun. And I'm excited to see this. And I do wonder if this screenshot that we see here is tied to any of these infill, exfil, or winner circle
I feel like it is,
cinematics.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like a winner circle, right?
Winner circle, yep.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that nobody's going to stay for the winner circle like they do in multiplayer, so it'll just be you and your teammates looking at yourself on the winner circle.
The second place team is forced to, at least, or they are right now. So that's good. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you can still leave early enough when you get second place, can't you? I'm almost positive you can.
Like 1 out of 10 times you can, but the other 9 out of 10 you can't. I don't know how it works exactly, but yeah. So either way, that's cool. So I'm excited to see what that entails. And now we're getting really into the meat and also the potatoes of this episode. Loadout and weapons integrations.
Loadouts are coming back. Wow. Do you know that going into this, man?
I wasn't sure. At launch and also in season, they say. So that's interesting. Loadout overview with dedicated melee. So here's a first little screenshot of the loadout in Warzone. And it looks exactly the same as the current create a class in BO6. You have your primary weapon, you have your secondary weapon, you have a dedicated melee weapon, 1 tactical, 1 lethal, perk 1, 2, and 3, and then a wildcard slot as well. Now, don't turn off the episode yet, because a lot of the perks and wildcards are different for Warzone than multiplayer. So, pretty much the same structure, but a lot of different components to it. And another thing I'll mention now is, looks like we are not going to have any combat specialties in Warzone. I don't know yet. We'll get into it. But the colors for each perk are different here. So perk 1 is blue, perk 2 is red, and perk 3 is
There are no
yellow.
specialties, correct.
There are no specialties, okay. So these colors probably comport with the perk slot. So green perks are... And yeah, there's no green perks. There are no green perks here. So, doesn't really matter, but something to keep in mind. So, the loadout menus received a tuning and GUI update to match the streamlined look found in BO6. You can create up to 10 customized loadouts comprised of those things. Loadout notes, here we go. Primary weapons are ARs, BRs, which are MW2 and MW3 only, so we are getting those weapons brought into Warzone. SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, marksman rifles, sniper rifles, and melee weapons from MW2 are going to count as primary weapons.
Got it.
I don't know what melee weapons are even in MW2. So that's really weird.
That would be.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, riot shield. That's what that means.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That's okay, good. So that's all great. Secondary weapons are pistols and launchers, and then melee weapons are dedicated, so you get one no matter what, and you access it by holding down your melee button. So on controller, you hold down right thumbstick. And right now we have 2 melee weapons in BO6, by the way, the knife and the baseball bat. I believe they have different movement speeds, actually. So
really?
I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah. Because they have other different characteristics. I've never used it either. They have other different characteristics as well. Like the bat is a 2-hit kill. The knife is a 1-hit kill. But the bat has more range and or lunge distance. So there are like some trade-offs and stuff. So I am curious to see, as the seasons go on and we get more and more melee weapons, what will be the meta Warzone melee weapon. It'll probably be whatever one has the most movement speed. But maybe that'll change from, like, you know, the knife we have now to some kind of, I don't know, switchblade or something. Assuming melee weapons do have different movement speeds. I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm actually not positive. So just something to keep in mind. The firing range. Each ranged weapon can be tested in the firing range. Updated to reflect the new stats and access to a recoil wall and moving target. Global weapon builds. Utilize a weapon build you've created and access it across multi, zombies, and Warzone. More intel on this time-saving innovation that allows you to make a change to any build or blueprint in any game, and it permeates out everywhere. Oh yeah, so they've already talked about that. A streamlined gunsmith. All weapons access the same streamlined gunsmith and attachments menu available in BO6 multiplayer. This means 4 statistical categories, but with attachments specific to the game in question. Okay. And then they write MW3's aftermarket parts, for example. So are they changing how the other game's attachments behave then? Because right now...
I'm taking this as just a UI thing. All weapons access the same streamlined gunsmith and attachments menu available in BO6 multiplayer. I don't think that's what it means, no. I think it's just talking about, like, the advanced stats and everything, kind of. Because it's talking about firepower, accuracy, mobility, and handling. That's just the general stats you see when you look at a gun before you go into the detailed stats. I think that's all they're saying. They might be changing a lot of these attachments. Yes, they probably will, but I don't think that's what they're really saying here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you, but because there's so here's something to keep in mind. Right now, it is not possible to build a BO6 weapon in multiplayer that is going to have movement speed as fast as a movement build Super-E. Because the Super-E has a barrel attachment that gives you faster movement speed. That does not exist for any SMG, I don't think any gun at all in BO6. So if that doesn't change, then people might still run a Super-E just because it's going to have such faster movement speed than anything you can possibly make in BO6. So I'm curious if they will change that or how. That really does make me wonder. I think with mag sizes too, no one actually does this, but you could put on in like an MW3 or MW2 gun a magazine that is even smaller than the default mag And one of the benefits of doing that is increased movement speed further. You cannot do that, to my knowledge, in BO6 at all. So that's like 2 separate attachment slots that can give you movement speed, for example, that BO6 is not able to do in multiplayer right now. So that's going to be a lot of attachments they have to change, or the attachment system is just going to be way different for certain classes of guns or games guns in Warzone, depending on, what title it comes from.
Dude, imagine how much easier their life would be if they just stopped bringing forward
Exactly.
guns from the games.
I agree.
Like, they would say, I don't understand why they don't. I don't. Like, you can, well, I guess probably because they're tied to bundles and everything still. So I'll say you can keep like operators and whatnot, but if they purchase a bundle that say maybe includes a weapon skin and an operator, then it's, I don't know, it's got to be something to do with that. Because there's no way they want to be doing this.
Yeah, it's probably to keep the consumers happy, unfortunately, because the consumers are dumb. But yeah, I think you're right, because it would be so much easier and better. So to be clear, I haven't read this yet, so maybe they explain those concerns. But like right now, if I'm moving at 9.7 meters per second with a Superi, whereas the fastest BO6 SMG I can use is like 7 meters per second, that's a problem. That's a pretty big problem. So we'll see, but let's continue. Weapon separation. Each weapon type is separated into a menu. Okay, yeah. So weapons hot, available armaments at launch, and then in season for some BO6 weapons. Oh, so they just go over the total number of weapons available. Got it. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. Gear up, part 1.
177 weapons, by the way. Cool.
Total. Yeah.
That's what we want. We want that.
Yep. I want you guys to try balancing 177 separate items. Yeah.
I really
you guys
want
can balance one item
primary
really
guns.
well. So what if we tried to do it with 177 of them instead? Yeah, got it. That's miserable, but whatever. We'll learn more, obviously, by launch at the latest. So gear up, part 1, available tacticals and lethals. So start of season 1, there will be these things. So these are the tacticals: flash, concussion, smokes, experimental gas, snapshot nades, shock charge, decoys, neurogas, it's like a gas grenade, stim shot, spy camera, and prox alarm. So that's interesting, but smokes are going to be really good, so I don't think it's worth going into detail about what else might be relevant, because they won't be. Warzone lethals. Here we go. Frags, Semtex, impact nades are coming to Warzone. So,
which doesn't matter because they're terrible.
They are terrible in multiplayer. Yes. But they could do some balance, and impact nades could eventually maybe become relevant. We'll see. But on launch, probably not. Thermobarics, which are also terrible in multiplayer right now, although they were very good in Warzone, so we'll see how that shakes out. Mollies, Molotov cocktails, which are really good in multiplayer right now, so I'm curious if they're going to have that. Mollies come out of your hand as quickly as any other lethal, it feels like, in multiplayer right now. So if that's true in Warzone, I might be running mollies, because the big downside of mollies, like in Warzone right now, is they come out of your hand slower than like a Semtex does. So if that gets equalized, that'll be interesting, but whatever. Drill charge, C4, blast trap, which is like a prox mine, and then spring mine, which is also like a prox mine, except it's a field upgrade. So that's weird. Throwing knife, and also combat axe, which is a throwing knife. So, okay. Not too much to really say here either.
Yeah, I wonder how the combat axe is going to work. I wonder if it's going to do more damage and can one-shot, and the throwing knife basically can't.
If that's going to be how it works, it'll get changed immediately.
Like the chest up.
Yeah. They'll have them function exactly the same, I would imagine. Because right now, a combat axe is just the replacement throwing knife. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it acts exactly the same way as a throwing knife in multiplayer right now. It's retrievable. It comes out of your hand really fast. It's a one-hit kill anywhere.
Why would they give us both of them then, though? they're just going to have the same damage.
Well, why would they give
I
us
think the
blast
combat
traps
axe will
and
do more
spring
damage.
mines? Then why would anyone run a throwing knife?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Come out of your hands faster, because a combat axe does it takes it longer to throw it. It feels like it takes a while.
Interesting.
It's a slower animation.
That would actually be cool. I'd be okay with that. As long as the combat axe isn't one tapping anywhere.
Mine, I'm not really sure. Spring mine, I think, is more like a
spring mine's worse. I can tell you that. But the difference right now is that they are different, but they serve the same purpose basically. But yeah, those are actually different. So yeah, I don't know. But the most interesting thing here, not that I think it's very relevant though, is that a spring mine is a field upgrade in BO6, but it's going to become a lethal instead in Warzone. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Yes, that is how throwing stars are, Jake. That's correct. But are they going to relegate throwing knives to function how throwing stars function now? I would actually like that. I think that would be cool, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's a huge deal either way, but we'll find out when the game launches. So, Gear Up Part 2, Field Upgrades and Streaks. This is interesting as well. In this iteration of Warzone, expect field upgrades and kill streaks to be available in match at either a buy or as part of ground loot, and they will be plentiful in ground loot, knowing Activision.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are the field upgrades. Muni box, heartbeat sensor, deployable covers coming back, portable radar, deployable buy, decontamination station, trophy system, armor box. So I've not seen, by the way, the combo box yet. What's it called right now?
You'll see it. It's there.
Okay. Got it. Utility box. Okay, reinforcement flares are coming back. Cringe. Loadout drops. Okay, yeah. Scrambler. Okay. Don't use that. War Cry actually could be good on Resurgence. War Cry, which is like Battle Rage, basically. Balloon Extract and Plunder only. So that's how you can get your money out. It doesn't matter, it's Plunder. Utility box is coming back. PRB, which is a portable redeploy beacon. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh, it's a balloon. Portable balloon.
Well, there's a portable redeploy drone. So the drone's the single and the beacon's the balloon one.
Oh yeah, okay, recon drone's another one. Portable redeploy drone. I think that's the one where you like your character holds
handheld,
it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then morphine injector. This is a field upgrade in multiplayer as well. I don't know what it does, actually. I've never looked at it. Do you?
I've never looked at it either, no. I'm kind of going through the tacticals and lethals as they're in order to get the mastery badges. So I'm kind of I've really only used the first 3 or 4 in each category.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't even think I knew morphine injector existed.
I forgot about it until I just read that. But yeah, so if anyone knows what morphine injector does in multiplayer, I'd be curious to see. I don't think it's going to be super relevant because this is a field upgrade after all. You're going to have to find one, but could be interesting. So yeah, nothing too crazy there with any of that really so far. So now we're getting into score streaks or kill streaks. Oh,
here's what morphine injector does in multiplayer. For a duration, fatal damage puts you into a last stand state.
Oh.
Teammates can revive you or get a kill to self-revive. Okay. So it's last stand, yeah.
So if you're playing solos and you're about to make a crazy push, could be interesting. Bang a morphine injector and then push some guy. I mean, not a big deal.
So then you just get downed. Okay. Yeah.
So you get down instead of getting instantly wiped. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then what if you have a self-res? Then you get downed and then... Well, then you just wouldn't use your morphine injector, I guess. Yeah. Whatever. I don't really care. Yeah, another good question that Jake brought up, by the way. In these tables that we're reading, so available field upgrades, trophy system, player level 12. What does that mean in Warzone? If I find one on the ground, I can't pick it up? Because you can't buy trophy systems at buy stations. and you can't have them in your loadout. So why does it say player level 12 for trophy systems? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't understand what that could possibly mean. When we're talking about lethals, like a drill charge is at level 50, that makes sense because you will equip a lethal in your loadout. But you don't equip a field up. Oh, you know what it means? This is for plunder. Because in plunder, you do equip a field upgrade, I'm pretty sure. So that's what the player levels mean. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So, okay. That makes sense. That'll function as intended then. Okay. So, yeah, nothing to be alarmed about there. So now we're getting to score streaks. UAV, counter UAV, advanced UAV, precision airstrike, bunker buster.
Yeah. Yikes.
Unfortunate. Supply UAV, care package. Okay, that's interesting. Cluster strike, sentry turret, SAM turret, foresight, and napalm strike. So a couple interesting things here. First of all, we'll take this in reverse order. Napalm strike. I had originally thought like, oh, they're replacing PAs with napalm strikes because they've done this before. Like in MW 19, it was called a cluster strike, and then they changed it to a mortar strike in Vanguard, but it was the same thing, functioned the same way. I thought a napalm strike would be the same thing, but there are going to be napalm strikes and PAs, precision airstrikes, which implies to me they're going to be different. And if I had engaged my brain, I would have figured out, yeah, napalm strike is going to be basically a PA, except there's going to be fire lingering on the ground. This is the kind of streak I would much prefer they add over bunker buster, because it's just like a better PA, but it's still balanced, assuming it's going to cost more money. I actually like that.
Napalm strike, you pull up the little tablet and you call it in like the direction and everything. PA, you pull up the binoculars and you click. So how will that work in Warzone? You'll only be able to use your little tablet in your immediate area. Oh, really?
I assume so, yeah.
I don't think it would do that. Then at
it
that
would
point,
be really busted if you could choose the direction, honestly.
I think you can. Why would they add the shriek in if it's basically just a PA that you call in? I think you'll still have your tablet, but it'll just be a small area like the size of a multiplayer map.
PAs in multiplayer, you do pull up a tablet and choose the direction. But then in Warzone, they change it, and it's only
Was that the way it worked in MW3?
Yes. Maybe not every game, but I know that PAs, you choose the direction in most multiplayer games. Yes. I think the only difference is going to be napalm strike costs more and leaves fire on its trail.
Okay. I think you're going to have a tablet, and it's just not going to... Obviously, you're not going to be able to call it anywhere on the map, but it would just be in a small area around you, like the size of a multiplayer map. That's what I'm guessing. That
would actually be kind of bad, because then you'd have to get close enough to call it. Like, what if someone's sniping at me at like 150 meters, and I have a napalm strike? I just can't call it on him because he's too far. I really don't think so. We'll see, obviously, but either way, interesting. I like it as an idea, regardless of how it works, probably. So that's cool. Foresight. So that's going to be in at launch, and they're taking away bunkers, meaning you'll be able to buy foresight, I guess. Right?
I guess, or you can only find it still,
or it's giga rare loot. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Or you can find it in a care package,
or like a big game bounty reward or something. Actually, yeah. Okay. Or care package, right? Yeah. I don't love it, honestly. I think foresight's just too strong, frankly. But it's not the end of the world. So
yeah, I don't mind.
Moving on, SAM turret. That's another new one.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
How is it going to interact with a PA? You know?
Right.
If I throw a SAM turret down and you like
it's like a trophy system for PAs and napalm strikes.
You call it PA 3 seconds later or something. Is it really gonna just shoot down your PA and do no damage? I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. Because campers could actually go crazy with this. Just throw a SAM turret on their roof.
Even just shooting down UAVs and counter UAVs.
Well, Bunker Buster actually would probably...
It wouldn't
go through a SAM turret.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so the only ones that would... It would shoot down UAVs, counter UAVs. I would think not advanced UAVs, but you never know.
I would think not advanced UAVs either. Because they... Yeah. Like right now, an advanced UAV is called a HARP. And the whole idea is it's a plane that's like really high in the air, I guess.
That's high altitude, man.
Very high altitude, yeah. Which I'm certified to pilot planes that fly that high.
Yeah.
So SAM turrets are definitely going to be able to shoot down UAVs and counter UAVs for sure. And then the question mark is, will they be able to shoot down PAs and napalm strikes? That is a good question. I don't know the answer. If I had to guess, I would say no. I would say they only are going to shoot down UAVs and counter UAVs. But it is possible that they will counter PAs and or napalm strikes. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I think I hate it.
This is one of those things where this is like one of those streaks where you just don't want in the game, because either it's so bad and it only shoots down a UAV or counter UAV. And at that point, why is anyone ever choosing to purchase that? It's just going to be a dumb ground loot item that you pick up and you're like, oh, might as well throw this. It's just junk. It's just more crap on the ground I don't want to have to sift through. Or if it will destroy napalm, precision airstrikes, that's going to kill streaks in general. And yeah, it's going to be hard to push somebody that's ratting and camping, other than if the only way to counter that is a bunker buster. And then again, the game's getting worse because then everyone's just going to use bunker busters. I don't think I like the idea of SAM turret.
Yeah, I
think it's just going to be bad.
The only counter argument I have is if it only shoots down UAVs and counter UAVs, I think that actually might be pretty cool, because that would be the only way to shoot down UAVs and counter UAVs in Warzone. Like right now, if someone calls a UAV on you, even if you're running a Joker, you can't shoot it down. There's no actual plane in the air like there is in multiplayer. So unless that's changing,
I was going to say maybe that's also changing. Actually,
that could be changing. Yeah, it could be changing. Yeah, you're right. That could be changing. Whether or not that is changing, though, but especially if that's not changing, then SAM turret would be the only way you can shoot down people's UAVs and counter UAVs. And I could actually see myself liking that, or I could see myself not liking that. I don't really know yet. Because that would also be very annoying to call in a UAV, and then some guy's SAM turret just shoots it down immediately. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure about this one. I don't think I like it.
Yeah, I think there are a lot more ways this could be bad than good. It's possible I'll like it, but the odds are I won't. I'm kind of with you. Yeah.
Biggie does make a good point, though. With no backpacks, people are going to have to choose one streak, and it's not going to be SAM turret, probably.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's actually a great point. If I can carry a UAV, an advanced UAV, a precision, a bunker, a cluster, napalm, I'm never picking up SAM turret over those.
If I'm like Iron, though, and I get a foresight, and I'm on a roof sniping in the like final zone, I could see in that situation he buys a SAM turret because he just wants to like snipe everyone anyway, and then he doesn't want them to have. Well, they're gonna know he's there if he's camping.
Portable buys too, so
and there are portable buys, so you could do it all.
And then buy a bunch. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
That's another thing too. So
that's
pretty interesting. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But that's new and it's interesting. It'll be different. So the next one that's new and interesting, I don't know if this is new actually. I think it is. Sentry turrets. Have you been able to call these in Warzone before?
Yes, right? Haven't we had sentries before? I'm pretty sure we have.
I actually don't know.
Maybe we haven't. It seems obvious that we should have had it, but I actually don't remember ever using
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like in like Verdansk Warzone 1 we had them. I don't know.
Maybe.
Either way, I'm okay with it. Not a ton to say. I'm sure they won't do a lot of damage.
It'll be pretty bad, honestly. Yeah, it'll be pretty bad.
It'll be good, if anything, for kind of spotting players. If you just kind of toss it down somewhere and it starts shooting at somebody crossing a street, maybe you're not looking that direction. You're like, oh, there's a guy down here. I guess my sentry's shooting.
But with how long the sightlines are in Warzone, if I see a sentry turret somewhere, I'm just going to like peek it, shoot it a couple times, by the time its slow ass gun locks onto me, I'll, take cover, reload, repeek it, kill it. Like, it's not going to be that good. So whatever. And then care package is another new one. I think the last new one that we have not talked about here. That is pretty wild.
I don't get it. I don't understand the point of it to buy it when you can just buy the streak, unless one, maybe you can't buy a care package. Maybe you can only find it. Or two, maybe you can buy the care package, but you can't purchase all of these streaks. So
that's
the trade-off
is
you buy the care package to try to get something like Foresight. Maybe that's the only way to get it. That would make a lot of sense. Something like Advanced UAV, maybe you can get it in a care package. You're kind of just rolling the dice.
That's what I'm thinking it will be.
Most of the time, you're probably going to get a counter UAV and you wasted your money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or supply UAV. Yeah. I think it's going to work the way you described it. I don't think you're going to be able to buy Foresight. I think it'll be like loot or care package only. Same with an Advanced UAV. It'll be like loot or care package only. Or a reward for like a Giga contract or something. But it'll still be a random chance. I think care package will be purchasable. And the advantage of doing that is going to be you have a small percentage chance to get like Foresight out of it. Yeah, that'll be my guess.
And these also,
honestly, I'm okay with this because you're not only are you spending money, you're spending money, so you have to go to a buy or you find one. But even if you do, let's just assume you're buying one. You have to go to a buy station, spend money buying it, throw it somewhere, wait for it to fall, and then open it. Like, that's a lot of risk you're taking and waiting around. It's a pretty big cost in terms of money and time. That if there's a small percentage chance you can get a good streak, that might be kind of cool. Here's another question. I wonder if SAM turrets can shoot down the care package plane. Because in multiplayer, that is how care packages work. They fly in on a plane. You can shoot those things down, and then the care package drops early.
My guess is they'll operate the exact same way that a portable buy station works right now in Warzone. I bet anybody can shoot it down. It'll start coming over, and then you can shoot it down, and you can steal the care package, which will be fun and exciting.
That will be fun and exciting.
Never been able to steal anybody's streak like that before.
Oh, dude.
It's fun.
I guarantee you, week one, there are going to be funny TikToks of people using care packages as bait like they do in Tarkov now. Some guy's going to buy a care package.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to throw it in front of him in a field, and he's going to be mounted up with 2 spring mines on his door, just baiting the care package, waiting for people to come get it, and then just pick them off. That'll be funny, too. That'll be cute. Use them as bait. So those are the new score streaks. There's a lot that's different. I'm curious to see how these things work. But yeah, I have questions about all of these new things except care package. Like, yeah. So that'll be cool. Potentially. Or bad. We'll see. Today's episode is brought to you by our Patreon, where we offer our members all of our EPs, early access, and ad-free, starting at just $5 a month. At the gold tier, patrons also get 3 raw, uncensored Call of Duty bonus episodes every month, in addition to every bonus episode we've ever done in the past, and a unique Discord role. If you've been considering joining the Patreon, now is literally the best time of the year because we just got a new COD game, things are moving quickly, and we're going to have Season 1 very soon, and we're going to have Season 1 Reloaded very soon as well. So the bonus episodes are going to just be flying out all on very new developments in the game and new content in the game. So we just released one Patreon episode today, in fact, that was about BO6, largely the prestige system, some more tips, some more XP grinding, earning tips, prestiging tips, observations, things we've been enjoying, things we're looking forward to, some prognostications. And we're going to have more bonus episodes coming out this month, obviously all about Season 1 and Warzone and zombies, all kinds of stuff. Target rich environment. At $10 a month, if you wanted to go platinum, you'd get everything from the gold tier, of course, alongside one Anything Goes Q&A episode where only you guys can ask the questions or hear the answers. Damascus is $20 a month, and you will get all of that plus a behind the scenes episode, which people really seem to enjoy. A monthly Damascus only patron hangout, which is going to be happening Friday night, this Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to play some Black Ops 6 customs. That's going to be fun. And you get access to the Discord Damascus Lounge, which is by far our most active chat and little community within the podcast. If you hated hearing this ad, sign up for the Patreon. You'll never hear an ad again. Let's get back to the show. And now is the real interesting section. Perks and also wildcards. The pick 3 perk system, they say. Got it. Yeah, okay. You equip 3 perks. Thanks. Okay, the way you utilize perks in both your loadout and during matches has been updated to streamline and increase the value of perks, and it all starts in the loadout menu, where you're simply able to choose 3 perks, 1 from each slot of 6 available perks, perk 1, 2, and 3. Unlike BO6, there is no combat specialty. That is good. Mm-hmm. I like this. I like being able to just pick a perk that's best in slot, rather than having to be like, oh, should I take a substandard perk in slot 2 so that I get the specialty? I don't know. I don't like that for Warzone. I don't even know if I like it for multiplayer, at least in its current form. But anyway, in Warzone, most of the pick 3 perks are unlocked as you level up your player and will be relocked if you choose to prestige. So we will now have confirmation on this. If you're a BO6 player, your current player level is carried over into Warzone, and any Warzone perks are automatically unlocked to that level. Okay. So that does answer a question. Prestige will lock all your stuff in Warzone as well. So I would advise those of you who are going to play a lot of Warzone, but who are also prestiging a lot, to consider saving your tokens so that you can start spending them on Warzone specific perks. So that way, if you're level 11, prestige 4, by the time Warzone launches, you can just bang a token on something you like that's Warzone specific, because you literally can't do it until the update happens. So yeah, I would strongly encourage you to at least consider saving your token or tokens. But let's dive in here. Note that 2 perks from slot 1 are rewards available during season 1 for completing events. So some of these perks will not even be in the game right away. So like perk 1 is called Reflexes. That's going to be a season 1 reloaded reward. Pretty weird. They don't just add the perk right away, but okay.
That's so well, that actually makes me want to do the events then. That's kind of cool, especially if it's something broken.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing this. It's just the interesting thing to me is that this perk is not going to be available on launch, basically.
Yeah.
That's the noteworthy thing. So I'm not going to read all the names yet because we're going to go through and describe all of them. Although I will say there are 2 perks that are loot only. Shrouded and Irradiated. Yeah. I hate this a lot. I hate that a lot. A lot.
Do you?
Yes, that's really dumb. I don't like lootable perks at all. I giga don't like ones that you can only get if you loot them. Hate that.
Well, but Shrouded is so bad that it's
well, it might be different. Really I don't know. So we'll see. But here we go. There are also going to be 4 wildcards. And these are all just unlocked at different player levels. So, okay. So we didn't read any of the names because we're going to read them now as we go into actual details of them. Prior to a match, you're choosing 1 perk from each of the following lists. So here are the perks in slot 1. Reflexes. So this is the one that's not going to be available until season 1 reloaded. This is slot 1. Triggered explosives have a delay when sprinting past them.
Terrible.
So this is like flex, but with way fewer benefits.
Terrible.
Yeah. So that seems, let's see what it's competing with. Veteran. This is going to be a season 1 reward. So not a season 1 reloaded reward. So this will be available right away, but you'll have to do something. Reduce the negative effects of some enemy equipment. What does that mean? Okay. While ADSing, reduce flinching and extend hold breath duration. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like tac mask plus reduced flinch and more hold breath duration. I don't know what negative effects of some enemy equipment means.
Yeah, why don't they just say here? Just say what you mean by reducing the negative.
That's the purpose of a blog post.
Yeah,
like have this be your in-game description.
If the blog post says this, then yeah, exactly. Then in-game certainly not going to tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. Very cool. Then exactly. I don't know if this is going to be good or not. Probably not, though.
Probably not, because people are going to be running smokes. So, like, what equipment? Unless it's flak jacket, but I doubt it. So, anyway. Grenadier is another one it's competing with. Explosive damage slows enemy health regen and movement speed. Throw equipment farther and see a previous of the trajectory. And that was, of course, a typo. They meant preview. So, it's going to be like strong arm plus frangible or whatever. This could actually be pretty good.
It could be very annoying.
Yeah.
This is one of those annoying perks where some absolute shitter is using it, and it's very annoying to go up against because they hit you with explosive damage for 10 points, and you can't move your character. Doesn't
you can't
sound
move,
fun.
And you can't regen forever. Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully there are better perks in here, maybe, so I don't think people will run this.
Yeah, so let's see the next one. So far, none of these sound that great. Grenadier sounds like the best one so far. So let's continue. Dexterity. Reduced weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving, and take less fall damage. That sounds busted OP. So this is like Mountaineer plus less weapon bob. That sounds really good. That sounds really good.
Yeah, this will be one of the top 2 or 3 perks in this category.
Yeah. Now, it says take less fall damage. That I actually do wonder if this is going to work like Mountaineer, because what Mountaineer does is it says you can survive jumps from distances that without the perk you would die from. Is that how this is going to work? Or is this going to be like you'll still die at exactly 29 meters and more jumps, but anything below that, you'll take less damage? That would be terrible.
Yeah, because so Mountaineer is worded in game as fall from higher heights without taking fall damage.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see if this is going to work like a Mountaineer or not. If it does, it's going to be really good. If it doesn't, it's going to be pretty good because there's reduced weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving. I will say that sounds really good, but in multiplayer, I don't even notice this on controller anyway. Like it doesn't, I've never once been like, oh man, if I had dexterity there, I would have hit those shots. That's never happened to me once.
Yeah, so I've been kind of meaning to test that because I've been running dexterity for the last couple days now. And I've been like getting used to the feel of sliding and shooting or jumping and then going into a slide and ADS and shooting. So I'm going to get off of it here and mess around with it because when I went to not using dexterity to using dexterity, I actually didn't notice a difference.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big difference. I wasn't
paying attention to it, and the game is still new, so you kind of don't notice all those things right away. So not really sure, but the fact that I didn't immediately notice it and I still am unsure if it actually works, it doesn't seem to be that good.
It really doesn't. Yeah. So we'll see how dexterity works. The main question is this fall damage question. Is it going to function like Mountaineer? Because then it's going to be quite good. If not, then I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be worth using. So Grenadier seems probably like the best one so far. Next one is Scavenger. Start equipped with max reserve ammo for your primary weapon. Don't care. Resupply ammo, plates, and equipment from dead enemies. That sounds decent, actually, for the first time ever. Because right now, Scav only resupplies your ammo, and it guarantees 1 plate. But if you're also able to loot thermites and smokes, from every player you kill, not just players running smokes and thermites also who didn't throw them before dying. It's actually kind of good. Is it worth running? No, probably not. I'm probably running Grenadier instead still anyway, but they did make Scavenger finally like decent. Because getting a guaranteed like smoke and whatever lethal whatever lethal and tactical you're using, if that's indeed how this functions, is pretty good actually. So
yeah. How would this interact with other players, like your teammates? Or do you think it drops some sort of just scavenger bag that only you can see? How does that work even?
That is how that works, yeah. So if I'm running scav and you're not, it drops like a little blue like satchel, and you run over that and you get whatever you get. So it'll probably work that way.
I don't think I've ever run scavenger in Warzone. Well, actually, no. Actually, wasn't scav meta in Warzone 1 at some point in Verdansk for some reason?
I don't believe so. Okay. No. But I've never run it either, but when you get specialist, which is entirely too common in this game, you get scavenger, so that's how I know how that works. So anyway, and then the last one in slot 1. So not a super competitive category, by the way.
Not a lot of good perks.
Yeah.
They're going the BO6 multiplayer route.
But that might be changing here. Survivor. Start regenerating health more quickly. Your allies revive you faster when you're downed. This is a very smart way to implement some functionality that's been in this game since Warzone launched. But what they've done before was, if you take a perk, you revive other people faster. Everyone's selfish. No one cares about anyone but themselves. So they're not taking that shit. I don't want to res my shit teammate faster. And I certainly don't want to sack a perk slot to do it. But if the perk slot does the exact same thing, but instead, regardless of what your teammate's using, you'll be rezzed faster, that makes it much more attractive. I like that a lot, that they did that. And start regenerating health more quickly, especially in Warzone, where everyone's probably not running stims, they're probably running smokes. This is easily, and it's not close, the best perk in this slot. It's not close at all. Being rezzed faster by anyone that's on your team, and you start regenerating health more quickly in a game where you're never going to have stims, it's not close. This is easily the best one. By far. Busted OP.
Yeah.
It's not close.
But I do wonder if inserting plates will regen your health or not. Or if it's just...
It won't, because I think there is quick fix and it's in a different category.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There is. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get there.
Well, then I don't think this is that good. I think I'm taking dexterity over that then, actually.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. It depends on if dexterity functions like Mountaineer. Because if it does, then you're probably right. If I'm taking quick fix, I'm probably not taking Survivor. If I'm not taking quick fix, I'm definitely taking Survivor. So this is where we start to get into the mix and match fun stuff that I love about perks that doesn't apply at all to BO6 multiplayer, unfortunately. But it looks like it's going to apply here, so that's very interesting. So far, that's slot 1. Those are going to be all the perks in slot 1.
Yeah.
So now slot 2. Quartermaster. Recharge equipment over time, 50 seconds. This is restock. So, okay. That's pretty good. Bomb Squad. Reduces incoming explosive and fire damage. And then you also spot enemy equipment and kill streaks through walls. So this is Flak Jacket plus like Engineer, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Always good to have Flak Jacket. So this is the good category, by the way. That's already obvious. Because those are already better than like all the slot 1 perks. Next is Tracker. See enemy footsteps. Bullets you fire briefly mark an enemy for you and your squad. Enemies that down you are automatically pinged. This is very interesting. So this is like a combo Tracker, Combat Scout, and then a new thing as well.
Yeah.
So let's go through all these. See enemy footsteps. That's pretty good, but I'm not taking that for that alone. It's meh. Bullets you fire briefly mark an enemy for you and your squad. So keep in mind, Combat Scout does this in Warzone right now, but with Combat Scout, there's a cooldown. So if I shoot Tom, he'll get pinged if I'm using Combat Scout. But then if I shoot Dick and Harry right after that, they will not be auto-pinged by Combat Scout because there's a delay on how often this can trigger. In the description here, there is no such delay with Tracker. So anyone you hit with a bullet at any time will be marked for you and your squad. This could be an oversight, or it could not be an oversight. And that's interesting. Because if there is no such delay like there is with Combat Scout right now, this is an extremely powerful perk. Some would say too powerful. Is it an oversight or not? I don't know. And then enemies that down you are auto-pinged. A nice little side attraction, but not that big of a deal at all. What are your thoughts on this?
Really good.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, kind of just really hard to say until you see it in action, basically. It could be really good or it could be not great. Like how the pinging the enemies is going to work. Exactly. That's
what it comes down to for me too.
Because the footsteps part doesn't really matter. Pinging the enemy automatically that downs you, that's actually very good, so we know that'll be good. But just those two things alone, definitely not worth running this perk for. So it all depends how the marking the enemy works. If it'll mark numerous people, if you just need 1 point of damage to mark somebody through a wall, how long they stay pinged for, how many people you can ping at once, all of that. Totally up in the air, so I'm not really sure.
Exactly.
But it sounds really good.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Good. Yeah. Yeah. There are ways to balance this, and there are ways to have it just be busted OP. But if you can just fire into a building, start wallbanging a 4-stack, and they're all just permanently pinged simultaneously, that's way too strong. So we'll see how that works. Next one is Sprinter. You can tack sprint indefinitely. I don't see a world where I take this. This, as nice as this sounds, I just don't see a world where I sacrifice some of these other very strong perks to take this. But that is cool for movement, obviously. Next one is Cold-Blooded. Undetectable by AI targeting, so like sentry guns, for example, and thermal optics. That's the big reason. Prevents some enemy recon perks and effects. So I'm assuming that's referring to High Alert, which is probably going to be in slot 3. But we'll get into that. So this is pretty good. I'm still not taking it, though. And here's where we get into a real trouble for me in picking what perks I'm taking. Quick Fix. The God perk. The best perk has ever been in any Call of Duty game. That is, much to my dismay, not in BO6 multiplayer. Quick Fix. Killing enemies or inserting armor plates immediately starts health regen. And you can insert armor plates one-handed with Quick Fix. So you had me at sentence 1. Killing enemies or plating immediately starts health regen. I'm probably taking this for that reason alone. But now there's this new thing it also does where you can insert armor plates one-handed. What is that going to mean? I think it's going to mean 2 things. Number 1, if you don't have Quick Fix, you will not be able to hip fire your gun and plate at the same time. But if you do have Quick Fix, you will be able to insert armor plates and hip fire at the same time. Number 2, you're going to be able to mantle things while plating if you have Quick Fix. But if you don't have Quick Fix and you're plating and then you go to mantle something, the mantle will interrupt you plating. That's how it works right now in Warzone. If you're plating and you mantle something, it'll interrupt your plating. I think if you have Quick Fix, you're going to be able to keep plating while you mantle. That's pretty interesting And it's really just icing on the cake.
Really, you think it'd work that way? See, I don't think it would have any effect on mantling at all.
What do you think it would do then?
Literally, you'd just be able to hip fire. Because you know, like right now in BO6 multiplayer, how you insert armor plates one-handed, that's basically what I'm feeling like it'll be. So can you mantle in multiplayer while doing that?
That's a great question, actually. I think that would answer the question.
It'd be easy to test. Just go in kill order.
It would be easy to test.
Because so personally, I hate that part of it. That's what I don't like about being the HVT on kill order. I don't like how the inserting plates one-handed works. And I also wonder how this is going to work in Warzone, because it says can insert armor plates one-handed. So what does that mean? Is it a different bind? Do you have to hold down a button? Does it plate differently if you hold down versus pressing it? Because it seems to also insert slow. So are you going to insert plate slower? Is it going to be any different? Is it just always going to be one-handed? Does it have any effect? Because the animation in BO6 pisses me off, and it's definitely slower than like normal.
The animation is slow, yeah.
So that's
there's like a marked delay between plates.
If this works the same way as plating in multiplayer, I would literally not run quick fix because of that. So that's why
it's definitely not going to have you inserting plates slower than if you didn't have the perk. There's no chance.
Yeah.
There's zero chance. And if it does do that, it'll be remedied inside of 2 days. Because there's no way they're going to like do that for sure. But I think you raise a good concern. The reason I don't think it's literally only hip fire is because if it were, I feel like they would have written can hip fire while plating. I think they would have said that if that was all that meant, which is why I think it also means you'll be able to mantle short ledges. Like you're not going to be like every mantle you only use one hand for right now in the animation, like you'll be able to do while plating. But yeah, exactly. Like the ledge hangs, you're obviously use 2 hands for. I think that's what that's going to mean. We will see. Yeah. But
that would be nice if you could mantle and plate up.
That would be really nice. And I don't even think that perk needed that to be worth considering. So like so far, I'm thinking quick fix is for me, slot 2. And then dexterity or grenadier is for me, slot 1, depending on whether or not dexterity allows me to survive farther jumps or falls than not having it does. But if
what
it
did
doesn't,
you say
then
about
it's Sprinter?
Sprinter?
Pardon?
What did you say about Sprinter? I didn't hear you when you were talking about
basically,
that.
I said it's good, but there's no world where I'm taking it over Tracker or Quick Fix, honestly.
Okay, that's the same way I feel. And of course, I saw all of like the little resurgence nerds saying like, oh, Sprinter's going to like be insane. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's worth it.
That's crazy.
Quick Fix or Tracker. That was my exact thought too. So maybe on smaller maps, it does make more sense because you can just tack sprint with your gun out. But on big map, I definitely will end up using the pulling my knife out to sprint across open areas more often. So I would never use Sprinter on big map. But yeah, maybe for small map, there's a case for it.
I don't know. I disagree.
It's
I
going
think
to be
on
extremely
small map
popular.
Even. It will be popular for sure.
It'll be probably the first or second most popular perk in that category.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with how often smokes are likely going to be used, I think a lot of people are going to be using Tracker in the same way they use Combat Scout now, honestly. I don't know though. You could be right. But like tack sprinting indefinitely, I mean, that's obviously good. I'd rather have that than not. But also, if you're on controller like the majority of players and you're using auto tack, you're also like incurring a longer sprint to fire delay always when you have that. So like it's another kind of thing to keep in mind. I mean, I don't know. It's just something to think about. But yeah, I do not ever see myself ever running that over Quick Fix or Tracker. But yeah, right now it looks like Quick Fix plus, Dexterity and or Grenadier for me. So yeah, you're right. I'm not taking Survivor, which is perk slot 1. Start regenerating more quickly. Your allies res you faster. Yeah, I'm not taking that if I have Quick Fix. Only time that would be relevant with Quick Fix is if you're like literally out of plates. So
yeah,
interesting. Okay, so we got some competition now. So let's get into slot 3, yellow. Gung Ho. Reduced movement penalties when reloading or using equipment, and reload while tack sprinting. That's really good. That's really good. Especially in Warzone, where you're moving a lot and you're reloading a lot. If I'm moving more quickly while reloading, and particularly more quickly because I can tack sprint while reloading, that's really good. You know what would be a fun combo I'll never use? Sprinter plus Gung Ho. So I can permanently be tack sprinting. So every time I reload, I'm flying. That's pretty fun. But even without Sprinter, Gung Ho's really good. I like this a lot.
Gung Ho is going to be extremely good.
You're in a gunfight. You get a down on one guy. Someone else is pushing you. You have to reload. And you're now moving much faster while reloading and like breaking line of sight. That's really extremely strong perk so far. So that's good. Next, Resolute. Taking damage from gunfire provides a boost to movement speed for a short duration. Probably terrible. We have this in the game and it's not at all worth using, especially over Gung Ho. So unless the movement speed boost is like comically strong, this is not better than Gung Ho already.
No.
So basically no world where anyone takes this. So next is Ghost. Undetectable by enemy radar pings while moving. Cannot be detected by some devices. So I don't know exactly what some devices means.
Thanks.
Maybe prox alarm and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But whatever. I mean, yeah, this is Ghost. So the big thing to note here is that you're undetectable while moving. It's not just constant like it was in, or it wasn't like, you're not regardlessly off the mini map. If you have Ghost, you have to be moving. So that's good. That's a strong perk. Is it better than Gung Ho?
No.
Maybe. That really depends on the meta. Like how common are people popping UAVs and stuff. But like with SAM turrets too, because keep in mind, if you're playing Warzone and some other team pops a UAV, there might be team 3 that SAM turrets it for you. So UAVs are just gonna be less common, almost necessarily, because SAM turrets exist in the game, even if you never use them, which does make Ghost less attractive. Like, we've never been able to shoot down a UAV ever before in Warzone. So now that they can be shot down, I feel like Ghost becomes less attractive than ever, honestly. Like, this is the weakest version of Ghost we've ever had, because you have to be moving and UAVs can be shot down now, which they used to not be able to. So yeah, I'm not taking this over Gung Ho, almost certainly. I think you're right. No. Next one is Bird's Eye. UAVs you call in are 25% larger and show the heading of the enemy for your squad, and you detect players with Ghost. So that makes Ghost even worse. And unlike MW3, if you have Bird's Eye, you will still see elevation if you also see where they're facing. So this is no longer just a liability of a perk.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Which makes it interesting. I'm probably not ever running it in this category, but the perk definitely got a lot better because of that.
Yes, it did.
The elevation change.
Right.
It kind of depends. If a bunch of people are ghosted this year for some odd reason, which I don't think they will be, Bird's Eye will be very good. But aside from that, it won't be. It'll be a bottom 3 perk in the category.
It literally is only good if people are ghosted all the time. Exactly. Yeah. Because like UAVs you call in are 25% larger. I don't really care at all about this. Because like UAVs already show enough of an area. I don't really need them to be 25% larger. I'll just move my character. Thanks. And then showing the direction of the enemy squad. It's not like a harp. If it were like a harp, then it would be pretty goddamn good. But it does show their direction, but it still relies on new sweeps. It's not like constantly updated direction like a harp is. So I don't really care where they're facing very much. Unless it's auto updated like a harp, then it's really good. But It doesn't work like that. And then, yeah, it detects players with ghosts. So again, it's like only good if people are ghosted. And even then, I'm probably honestly not taking it over Gung Ho. So Gung Ho is like an easy winner for me right now. Next is Tempered. Refill armor plates to full with 2 plates instead of 3.
Always going to be good.
A damn good perk. It's a damn good perk. I mean, what do you want me to say about it?
Yeah,
it's a damn good perk. However, here's a question I have that I don't think we'll get the answer to. Are Tempered and Bird's Eye and Comms and Medic Vests coming back or not?
I don't think they are. No, I thought they weren't. They talk about vests later, about the vests that are in the game.
Okay. So
like
a big
satchels.
question, obviously, yeah, well, there are satchels, yes. So, but are those, if those vests, if there's going to be a Tempered vest in the game, and it's going to be as common as they are currently, Tempered vests, I'm probably not taking Tempered over Gung Ho. I'm actually definitely not. If there are no vests anymore, then it becomes interesting. Am I taking Tempered over Gung Ho? I have to play the game to answer that for you. If there are no Tempered vests, I honestly don't know. Because Tempered is really good,
Gung Ho's too good,
and Gung Ho also is really good on paper. But like, yeah, that's something, again, I would have to actually just play before I could definitively answer. But those are actually both very good. And the Tempered quick fix Wombo combo goes bonkers. You'll be full health faster than anyone could imagine.
Yeah.
And then they push you and you say, surprise, bitch, I'm done plating and my HP's already regenerated. Get slammed hard. That's fun. That's fun to do. That's a shit slamming. Yeah. So far 2 very good perks. And then the last one, oops, alertness. Sense when enemies are nearby. Tell when you are being aimed at by the enemy. Okay.
These are all worded so poorly, man.
Really poorly. Yeah.
So bad.
So the second sentence is basically just high alert. You tell when you are being aimed at by the enemy. So already that's quite good. High alert's a very good perk. I'll take it. But also you quote, sense when enemies are nearby, end quote. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Do you get the flex beeping, but instead of for enemy equipment, it's for enemy players? Because if that's what this is, I'm taking it always. I'm always taking it 1,000% of the time. If that's not what that means, what the fuck does sensing enemies are mean? Yes, exactly.
Yeah, obviously you get some sort of feedback for enemies being nearby, but what is that feedback you get? How far away does that come into play?
Exactly.
And even the second part, the tell when you're being aimed at with an enemy, like, is it somehow different than high alert? Because like high alert says vision pulses when spotted by an enemy player outside of your view. Super clear to understand. But no, let's just say tell when you are being aimed at by the enemy. Got it.
Yeah.
Hire the zombies writer to do these.
Yeah, get that guy.
What is
get
happening?
That absolute novelist on here. Yeah.
Oh no, this must be the Raven person. No wonder it's all terrible.
I'm assuming what that means is basically high alert because that functionality is already in the game with the recon specialty. So I'm assuming it's going to function the same way. And I also would imagine it's going to be actually a little worse than high alert is now, because high alert in Warzone right now, if you're on someone's screen and they're not on your screen, you get a pulse. But in BO6, and you have the recon specialty, they have to be aiming almost exactly at you before you get the pulse. I'm assuming that's how alertness is going to work actually. So it's actually a little worse than high alert, but you also quote sense when enemies are nearby, meaning it's probably actually better than high alert on balance. It just depends, again, what sense when enemies are nearby means. If I had to guess, I would guess it's going to be like the flex perk. You will get the beeping, and it'll become more and more rapid the closer you get to enemy players, and it will have the same detection radius as Flex does for lethals right now. If I had to guess, that's what that means.
Imagine just always you would constantly be beeping if you're playing Rebirth Island.
True.
There's no way that's the case. There's got to be just something that shows up on your screen, like a high alert type thing on the edge. That's, I don't know. I'm certainly never running this if it's always beeping when somebody's near me, because that would be.
It'd be really
terrible.
good on big map if it did that. Well, I mean, if you've run Flex on Rebirth, it doesn't beep too often. But that's a bad example.
Far less. Yeah,
there are far fewer claymores than people. That's a good point. Yeah.
People, yeah. And the tell when you're being aimed at, if it does indeed work that way, where it's more accurate, so like it works out, does in BO6 multiplayer right now, where the person has to be, basically they could be hip fire, they could be ADS, but their reticle has to be very close to you, like they're already aim locking on you. I'm not sure if that's better or worse than high alert, to be honest, because high alert, you get a lot of the fake pings. You get a lot of, you get all that BS when somebody doesn't even know.
Garbage intel. Yeah.
You get garbage intel at times.
Right.
But with this, by the time it's going off, if somebody's already aiming at me, they might already be shooting, but that's much easier to get used to, because if it works correctly, it's actually working, versus high alert. Yeah, some guys floating in, some guys 100 meters away doesn't even know that I'm there, but my high alert's going off. I don't want that intel. He doesn't even know I'm there. So I don't know if that's better or worse. I think it's probably better if it's more. Yeah, I don't know. That's hard to say.
That is hard to say. You're right, though. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because, like, running high alert, if you're, like, on the roof of prison on Rebirth Island, you have to sift through a ton of garbage intel. You're totally correct. Some guy can just have died, and then your high alert's flashing. I'm panicking. I'm yelling at Jake, there's a guy behind us! There isn't. It's just some guy floating. But, like, if I had alertness instead, then I wouldn't be getting that garbage intel. He'd have to be aiming at me. And with Warzone, you're going to have more health. So it's not going to be like too late for it to matter when you get the alert. You'll still have time because you have more health. So yeah, that could be better. But yeah, the question is just, what does sense when enemies are nearby mean?
Big Pony says someone has to have you in ADS. I wonder if you know that, like, did it work that way or something at COD Next, or is that just what you're guessing? If it
Who
only
said that?
Works on their ADS. Pink Pony 85.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going off the exclusive ace thing. Yeah, he's guessing.
Okay.
Right. Well, thanks for not being absolute and saying you know it for certain. So yeah, the perks are getting mixy this year. So again, because this is a poorly written document, there are questions.
Very poorly written. Yeah.
Poorly written document.
Terrible.
L document. Gung Ho's very attractive in slot 3. Tempered is very attractive in slot 3, and then alertness is very attractive in slot 3, kind of regardless of how it works. But particularly, I want to know, what does sense when enemies are nearby mean for alertness in slot 3? I want to know if for tracker in slot 2, there is any limit on how many pings you can get by getting bullets to hit enemies. And in slot 1, I want to know, what does dexterity take less fall damage mean? Does that mean I can fall from a higher distance and not die than without it? So what perks will I be running? I don't know in literally any case, because I have questions about all 3 categories, what I may or may not run. So my perks could look like alertness, tracker, dexterity, or it could be Grenadier, Quick Fix, Gung Ho. It depends on what the perks do. So we'll see. But there are some strong combos we've never seen before. Tempered Quick Fix, very strong combo. High Alert, Quick Fix, very strong combo. Yeah, it's looking spicy, red hot. And I'm excited.
Real spicy.
I'm very excited. Hello, Jake Stryker, aka Sally Boy. Long time, man. Good to see you. Our first ever patron in the chat. He did it. So yeah, this is getting me excited though. And that's to mention nothing about Wildcards. So there are 4 Wildcards in Warzone. Pick one of them.
Pick one, man.
So here they are. First one, overkill. So you get one wild card and only one wild card, by the way. So this is all just one category. Overkill is you can equip 2 primary or 2 secondary weapons in your loadout. Okay. So let's see what else we have. Bandolier. Your loadout provides a munitions satchel. So we'll get into what that means, but there are munition satchels and like armor satchels. I don't know exactly what they do. I think what it does is it gives you a greater capacity for reserve ammo. Yes, so instead of having 210 AR rounds in reserve, you'll have 420. Blaze it. Or something. I think that's what that
increases the ammunition capacity for all types of ammunition. So not lethals, not tacticals. It's just ammo.
Okay. So far I'm taking overkill because I don't really care about that, especially if I can find a muni satchel. That seems like a huge waste of a wild card. Next is gunfighter. Okay, never mind. Equip 3 extra attachments to your primary weapon. I'm taking that so far. Probably, depending on things we'll get into. And then the last one is battle ready. Your loadout provides a UAV and utility box. Meh.
That's a meh for you, huh?
Yes, that's a meh.
That's pretty damn good, man.
I could see scenarios where that's good, but I'm thinking, so like this is better on Resurgence for sure than Big Map. But like in Big Map, I mean, I probably already have full ammo and plates and equipment. So do I care about the utility box? Not really. Providing a UAV for you, that's nice. I wonder if it auto pops it when you pick it up or if it literally gives you the kill streak. That's another question. I'd assume it literally just drops the kill streak in the util on the ground. So that's pretty good. But am I taking that over having 3 extra attachments on my gun? Absolutely fucking not. No really? Chance. Not on Big Map. On small map, probably no. Actually, no. It's just too good having 3 extra attachments on your primary, frankly.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, if you and all your teammates are running, that's like 4 free UAVs.
That's like a free advanced UAV,
literally
actually.
Advanced UAV. That's pretty dang good, man.
It's kind of nutty, yeah.
Yeah. It all depends how the guns are going to perform.
Do you wipe the lobby when you get that advanced UAV? Because if you don't, then now it's just like, okay, you killed like 3 teams, but now your primary has 3 fewer attachments than everyone else.
You call in individual UAVs as needed. But I don't know, man. The other thing too is I was thinking about how this would pair like with Ghost being in the game and how that's going to affect all of that.
True.
I kind of wonder if more people will actually start running Ghost then. Because I can see Battle Ready being a popular wild card. I can see a lot of people choosing this one because they're like, oh, wow, it comes with a UAV. Like, that sounds good.
You know, another thing too, actually, let's say you're playing quads and one of you really likes to snipe every game. I would imagine, or at least it's possible, that snipers are less attachment starved than like an AR would be. Because you get a guaranteed optic. So like, let's say you're fine with that. And then you run whatever. And you don't really need extended mags on a sniper, whereas you do on an AR. So it's like, all right, in my sniper loadout, I'm actually not going to run gunfighter because I don't really care about 3 extra attachments. I'll run battle ready so that we have a UAV and a util as soon as we get our loadouts because I'm the sniper running that wild card. I could see myself running it in that case. Yes. But for most fully automatic rifles, I feel like I really would rather have 3 extra attachments for the rest of the game. You know what I mean? I don't know. But then also another thing is like, maybe you build a gunfighter AR and then you all get a battle ready loadout and then you just buy your gunfighter AR from the buy. There's a lot of calculus My brain's
too
not
much.
big enough to figure this out. We're going to have to like see the environment, play a while, see what other people are doing, see what's working, and we'll be able to go from there. But my intuition tells me here, Gunfighter is probably just going to be the best one. Yeah. Yeah. But actually, the most surprising thing here really is how none of these wild cards are super, super strong, except maybe Gunfighter, honestly.
Bandolier is actually crazy that it's a wild card. What a waste.
Terrible. Yeah, really bad.
It's so insane. They couldn't make it something else. That's crazy.
It should at least give you a Muni and Armor Satchel. Then I'm still not taking it, but it's a little better. But like just the Muni Satchel is so bad. Yeah, like what are we doing?
Yeah, that's...
Because that's going to be a common item. You know that's going to be pretty common.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure you can also just buy them.
Yeah.
And they're probably not very expensive because it just holds more ammo. I don't know. Why do you need a bunch of reserve ammo anyways? Just kill somebody and run over their body.
We've all survived in Warzone with only 210 in reserve. Like, I don't even need a Muni Satchel to win a game easily anyway. So, like, why am I going to sack a wild card slot on this? Yeah, it's really bad. So anyway, those are the wild cards, and that's pretty much the created class system. So, pretty interesting stuff. I like it, I think. Again, the balance here might be terrible, but it might not be, and on paper, it's actually not terrible. There are some questions and some real pros and cons in each slot. Unlike in multiplayer, I actually have to think about what I want to run, and there are some trade-offs, and I like that. I like what I'm seeing so far. So this is cool.
Yeah.
So let's move on now. Lootable perks and specialist. Once you've dropped into a match, there are additional perks you can find to fully kit out your op, with up to 6 additional advantages. These valuable items are found in caches and other locations across the map, and there are up to 6 to find. 4 of them are perks from the pick 3 slots, usually ones you haven't chosen. These are always the same 4 perks. Okay, so each update, they will have 4 perks that are selectable perks that can randomly appear as ground loot throughout the game. Got it.
Huh. Okay.
2 of them are lootable only perks, Irradiated and Shrouded. So we'll get into that. If you're dispatched during a match, your pick 3 perks stay where you dropped and can be looted by the enemy. This implies to me, by the way, that instead of perk packages on the ground, there will be 3 individual perks on the ground. This is more loot clutter and kind of cringe, and why I think we should just get away from lootable perks altogether.
I took it as
the
pick 3 part. I'm taking it as that's a package. That sounds like it'd be a package, right?
Well, you can loot individual pick 3 perks. So no, actually, definitely not. Because read the first bullet point. There are going to be 4 perks, individual perks, that you can find as ground loot.
Why does it say usually ones you haven't chosen? What are they even talking?
I think what they mean is that... Yeah, what does that? I guess it's going to look at what perks you have when you open it, and then it'll give you a perk that you don't already have equipped. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see.
Valuable items are found in caches and other locations across the map, and there are up to 6 to find. 4 of them are perks from the pick 3 slots, usually ones you haven't chosen. These are always the same 4 perks. Couldn't be more confused. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Don't like it, though, if we're getting just straight up lootable perks back. Don't like it at all.
I hate it. Yeah, I've been saying that. I hate lootable perks. I think it's cringe. So anyway, whatever. We'll see. It might become more clear as we read on. So if you're dispatched during a match, any lootable perks vanish and cannot be obtained by the enemy. Okay, they just contradicted them. Oh, any lootable perks vanish.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. At the start of season 1, the 4 pick 3 perks that are also lootable will be chosen. These will be the same every match, but expect frequent rotations as the seasons progress, where 4 new pick 3 perks are updated into the loot pool, replacing the previous 4. So they might pick like Quick Fix, Grenadier, Sprinter, and whatever as the 4 ground loot perks that are possible to find. And then when you open a box and you get a perk, it'll try to select a perk that you don't already have equipped as being the one that comes out. That's how I'm taking all this. We don't know.
Yeah, and I hate it. This has been the worst part of the changes so far.
Yep, I agree.
It sounds like everyone's going to be running around with like 7 or 8 perks by the end of a match.
That's another question, is if I have my loadout and then I find a lootable perk 2, when I pick it up, what happens? Does it replace my current pick 2? Or do I just have 2 perk 2s? Because that's a disaster if I have 2 perk 2s. Because then there are tempered vests in the game again. They'll just be tempered perks.
Here is going to kind of explain that, maybe.
Okay. Lootable perks, purple, 6. Obtain up to 4 perks from the previous pick 3 slots by looting them in-game, as well as 1 or both of the following. Okay, yeah, so you can just have all the perks then. Got it.
So you can obtain up to 4 perks from the previous. So that means you can have up to 7 perks, right? You can have your pick 3, correct. And then you can pick up 4 more.
No, actually you can have 9. Because you can have 3 pick 3s, 4 of the ground loot pool, and then an extra 2 that are lootable only. One of which is called, I hate it, irradiated. While under the effects of the gas circle or equipment, you will move faster, take less gas damage, and can insert armor plates. Really strong, not worth really discussing because it's loot only, so there's no picking and choosing to talk about. But this is really strong, and I'd be extremely annoyed if I lost a game to some guy who found irradiated and just got lucky, but I was unlucky and didn't find irradiated. Cringe dog shit mechanic. And then another one that's lootable only is called Shrouded. Drop a smoke grenade when entering the down state. Again, it's going to piss me directly off if I down some guy and I can't finish him because he got lucky enough to find Shrouded. Got it. Game's ass. Warzone's chalked.
Yeah, Warzone's dead. We're going back to
Warzone's chalked. Just really that simple.
Raven has killed Warzone.
Zombies main. Citadel de Mort now.
Warzone's fucking dog shit, man.
So this is terrible, bad idea, awful. Lootable perks are a giant L. I think dropping a perk package when you die is cool so that you can get your perks again when you die. Other than that, don't let me have multiple perk 2s or perk 1s or whatever. And certainly don't have loot only perks in the game. That's completely insane. Completely insane, and I hate it. So, got it. Yeah, I hate it so much, man.
Really pisses me off.
Again, if tempered is in the ground loot pool as one of the 4 lootable perks, I'm just not taking tempered then. I'm just going to take alertness instead, and then I'll probably find tempered perk at some point in the game, which will be exactly the same as finding a tempered vest now in the game.
I almost wonder if they're doing this to try to create different perk metas, which we've never really had. Like, they think it's going to change the perk meta as they update the ground loot perks, and like each season's going to have a different perk meta based on what ones you can loot.
That might be what they're going for, and they're wrong.
It's going to work. Yeah, it's going to be terrible, but I wonder if that's what they're going for. That's what they're thinking. They wouldn't know because they don't play Warzone.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So moving on to another bad idea, Specialist perk package. The legendary Specialist perk is also back. This package is a rare loot drop and can also be obtained via the care package Killstreak. There we go. And simply grants you every single available Warzone perk in the game. That's all 18 plus irradiated and shrouded, which are the lootable only ones. Got it. If you're dispatched during a match, let's stop saying dispatched. Your Specialist perk package stays where you dropped and can be looted by the enemy. Got it. I mean, I don't care that as much about this, honestly, as all the other shit we went over.
Yeah, and all the other. Yeah,
I agree.
Having one general package is fine, but yeah, more than anything, it's just I don't want a bunch of the crap to sift through, man. I don't want all these perks and other items on the ground. We already have 20 kill streaks now. We already have a bunch of field upgrades. There's too much junk on the ground, and it's all gonna go in one pile, and you're not gonna be able to sort through it because they'll never fix it.
Right.
I hate Raven. Yeah, they fell off, and they're bad, and they're terrible.
Yeah, and this will never change either. It's pretty
Warzone.
Cringe. Yeah, this is pretty cringe.
Warzone's
pretty
dead.
cringe. I wonder how soon we'll get lootable wild cards. So you can have all 5 wild cards too. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Find a wild card on the ground and you immediately get a UAV popped. Yeah,
yep, cool. And a util. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so next section here. The company you keep, operators. So we're getting MW2 and 3 operators in Warzone, basically.
And they changed the UI so they're actually sorted well now. So you can sort through and see your MW2, your MW3, and your BO6 operators.
Yeah, there are separate pages per game, which is good. Yeah, that's a good change. So yeah, and then you keep all the skins you've gotten, whatever. Okay. New combat features, Omni movement and body shield.
Okay.
So I'm going to quickly
You don't need to read any of it. It's just talking about it's yeah, we would just all the same Omni movements in.
Yeah, so Omni movement's coming to Warzone, and then body shield is also coming to Warzone, which is funny. Grab a foe from behind and use them to soak up the damage while optionally giving them encouraging whispers in their ear, then drop them. So
whisper this.
I mean, yeah, it's cool, and there will be a lot of funny clips to be had, but like this doesn't really change the meta or anything. If you get taken as a body shield, you're dead anyway. You're shit. You're really bad. So there you go. Although you know what's going to happen a lot? Some guy farming TikTok content is going to be running stuns and restock, and he's just going to run around stunning you and then body shielding you because you can't turn your character, which will be really annoying, but also kind of funny. So there we go. And then emotes and sprays is the next section here. Operator gestures known as emotes, which can be employed during a match or in the winner circle after a victory, are back and earnable via level unlocks with additional emotes available in the battle pass. Note you can equip emotes to any operator, even those from MW2 and 3.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Cool.
I'm excited to emote
with the old ops. Yeah.
Because I will mean to emote and I'll know how I'm doing it.
Right.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. Veteran Warzone players will remember covering walls with the D-Day operator spray to confuse enemies entering an ambush point, and we're happy to announce that sprays are back and ready to be employed in a variety of new and inventive ways. So that's cool. I like sprays. So that's dope.
I enjoy sprays, yeah.
So next is the quick inventory, which is coming at launch. So this is basically just confirmation they're removing the backpack. We have a slot for cash, gas mask, plates, kill streak, field upgrade, primary, secondary, and dedicated melee weapon, and then dedicated ammo slots, and that's it. W. So no more miscellaneous slots where you can put whatever you want. Those days are over, and this is good. This is really good. Very streamlined. And then satchels is the next section. Satchels are optional lootable equipment that increase the storage capacity of the dedicated inventory slots within a Warzone match. These provide operators with duplicates of the same items to increase your storage capabilities, thus increasing your effectiveness. Satchels can't be and don't need to be dropped, and one or both individual satchel types can be found and equipped once per match. If an operator carrying a satchel is killed, all their satchels are dropped and can be looted. There are 2 types. Armor satchel. This substantially increases your armor plate carrying capacity, and then munition satchel increases your ammo capacity. So yeah, it's going to be just like back in the day. When you would find a satchel, you could have, instead of 5 reserve plates, you could have 8. It's going to be the same thing. Those numbers are probably going to be different, but yeah, that's how it works.
I think you can hold up to 15 plates with the armor satchel, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Which sounds about right. That's kind of on par with how many you could hold if you wanted to right now with the backpack system.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And then progression, prestige, and challenge integrations at launch. BO6 comes with a lot of stuff. Here's what you can expect. Level unlocks, Classic Prestige. So you have the option to Prestige at level 55, relocking most of your player level content, but allowing you to progress through 10 Prestige levels. Words. Yeah, so Prestige is going to be coming to Warzone. It's going to function the same way. It's going to relock everything, including Warzone specific perks. They'll probably just add those things into the level unlocks kind of flowchart they have right now, and then you can use tokens on them. Prestige Mastery, calling card challenges. Expect an impressive selection of calling cards to be unlocked the Black Ops way.
Nice. Including
cards only available after prestiging or completing fully redacted Dark Ops challenges. Naturally, there are many animated cards to obtain, including the fabled 100% complete for unlocking all career, hardened, and prestige challenges. This is all coming to Warzone, which is very cool. I wonder if 100%er is like different for Warzone. No, it's not, right? Or maybe it is. Maybe there are two 100%er calling cards.
There are three. There's Zombies, Multiplayer, and Warzone, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then like a 300%er one, I wonder? We'll see. Radical challenges.
I wonder if there is a hidden one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is going to be cool though to do all the Warzone calling cards and like have categories to look through and know what they do. So there's going to be there'll be like a Warzone boot camp type calling card category like we have right now in multiplayer. There's where it's like you have to get a 15 kill streak, you have to get like 20 bloodthirsties, which is 5 kills without dying. You have to get maybe 10 kills without dying, something like that, and then you get like a killer master calling card. So there's that. There's the boot camp category. There's a bunch of them. So it'll be cool to have these for Warzone because I bet there's going to be an equivalent type killer master for a Warzone, which could be like get 20 kills in one match, something like that, or even like 15 kills in one match, like something that's difficult for the average player, but a lot of people can still obtain it, which is like killer master. There are a lot of people in multiplayer who literally cannot get a 15 kill streak. And they won't ever get Killer Master, even though to a lot of you guys listening, you're like, well, that's easy. That's not hard to do. I got Killer Master on day 3. But it'll be cool because Warzone will have something very similar probably, yeah. Where it's like get X amount of kills in one match, get like X amount of or get a squad wipe, something like that. There's a lot of fun things they can do. And that's one of the best aspects of BO6 multiplayer right now is all of the challenges and everything we have. So that's going to be excellent. One of the things I'm most excited for actually about Warzone is all these challenges, and it's just a ton of XP to gain again, which is gonna go well with prestiging. So so next up here, reticle challenges. Yeah, reticle challenges are back. You're able to access 10 unlockable reticles per optic, each requiring a number of set ADS kills. You can then share these reticles or those you've unlocked in BO6 multiplayer and zombies in either mode or Warzone. So I guess, well, let's read it again. Equip a BO6 optic to one of the new weapons and a reticle option opens the gunsmith cosmetics menu. So I don't know if there are Warzone specific reticles. I don't understand this. Maybe there aren't. No, it sounds like there are. Okay, so it sounds like we have Warzone unlockable reticles, which is cool. Because like the zombies and multiplayer ones are different, so I like that.
Yeah, it sounds like there will be. And you're right, by the way, about those challenges. I didn't even really think about that. But yeah, there's going to be like a Warzone Killer Master, which is going to be dope. That'll be cool. And that'll be pretty hard, by the way. Because
probably will be. It'll be harder than multiplayer.
For sure. Getting 15 kills without dying in multiplayer is one thing, but doing it in Warzone, that's pretty hard, man. Mm-hmm. So if it's going to be like the same number like that too, yeah. I wonder if that means there are going to be Warzone medals now. Like you get 5 kills without dying in Warzone, where you get like a blood quenched or whatever. We'll see. Okay, so moving on from that, reticles will be cool. Weapon camos, yeah, we're getting camos again, and those are going to be for Warzone for the first time. And they talk about the military, special, and then mastery ones, so we kind of know how that's going to work. And then from there, Warzone Mobile, I'm not reading on principle, and that's that. So overall, quite excited for Season 1 and Warzone. I'm excited to play Area 99, as likely as it seems that it'll not be very good, it can't be as bad as Fortune's Keep, so that's something. I'm excited for ranked play very much, and I'm excited for this new loadout system, particularly depending on how many of the perks work, which we don't know yet. That's going to be really fun to play around with. And my really only big complaint is the lootable perks thing, but just like in Cold War, when we started getting lootable perks, it really sounds worse than it was in practice most of the time, honestly. So, as annoyed as it makes me, it's not going to be that big of a deal ultimately. It'll be better if it weren't in the game at all than if it is, to be clear, but its inclusion is not a complete catastrophe if my experience in Warzone when Cold War was integrated and there were lootable perks is any indication. So overall, I'll take it, and I am very excited to play Urzikstan without the goddamn bunkers again too. That'll be cool.
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
And ranked. If nothing else, at least we'll have ranked play.
Yeah, true. And we'll see if lootable perks are going to be in ranked play.
That's true. Yeah, I wonder how different all that's going to be.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm with you, though. I'm excited for pretty much everything other than the lootable perks. And then we have a ton of questions about everything, but
yeah, just like to learn how things work, I'm excited about too.
That.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the only thing I just straight up don't like is the perk system, lootable perks. Totally. And in general, a lot of the perks just don't sound that great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that's kind of how it always is.
We'll see.
We have a few that are good, and most of them are just terrible, unusable, basically.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right, that's it for us, boys, and also girls. Let us know your thoughts. As always, we did a Patreon episode recently. You guys should watch it because it was good. We've been saying this, but now's the best time to join the Patreon. You will have heard an ad in the middle of this episode if you're listening on that topic. And then we also did our Damascus Hangout, which was really fun. We played a lot, and there were a lot of people that showed up. Some customs. We did some hardpoint. We did some kill order. We did some gunfight. Everyone was yapping. We did some free for all, which I won by a lot, by the way. It was a good time. So if you want to come to the next hangout, patreon.com/Dropshot, all of our Damascus patrons. Maybe we'll try and do an earlier one at some point because a lot of you were bitching and moaning that it was too late, but most of you were saying it's too early. So whatever, we'll figure it out. But anyways, yeah, we'll be back next week. Keep your eyes on the schedule. Schedule will be weird next week because I will be out of town in the weekend, but Tanner and I are going to figure out exactly how that works.
Yeah, you sure are, huh?
Worst time possible, but
about that.
That's things happen. Good. You know, we'll figure it out. So thank you for watching and listening. Patreon.com/Dropshot. Stay humble.
Stay humble.